Something I always like to say about anyone who brings someone else on a reality TV show, especially if you intend to date them, and it's kind of iffy about whether or not this person is going to be your forever person. You have got to kind of be a little bit like, I don't know. I just feel like you gotta be real sure of them, or you got to have them sign some type of really, really, really good NDA with regards to their time on the show. Okay. The reason I say this is because in the past, we've seen how someone has dated someone on a reality TV show and it did not end well. And then the person who was involved, they kind of want to have their say. And to a certain degree, I do agree that people should be able to have their say about what happened, especially if they feel like what happened isn't true for them. But that's always the case with relationships in general, is that when they end, something could be true for one person and not be true for another. I always think of it this way: at some point in time, we will all be the hero and we will all be the villain. For someone in your past, you are someone's villain, whether you know it or not. That is how relationships work. That person may not see that they did anything wrong and they may blame you for the ending of that relationship. So, this is just human nature at this point. So, what are we diving into here, really? We're talking about quad. But before I dive into it, I just kind of remind you of other relationships that we have seen that kind of turned sour after they ended when they weren't officially together. We remember Kenya and Walter, right? There was Kenya and the other guy, the bald guy. I cannot recall his name. There was TJ and Stacy, right? Just some of these relationships really, really crashed and burned. Now, the same could be said for some of the marriages as well, right? When they have ended. But it just seems to be a far clearer precedence that these boyfriend style relationships or boyfriend girlfriend style relationships just don't seem to work. Even looking back at Larsa and Marcus, right? From the Real Housewives of Miami. But let's dive all the way into the quad and the king of it all. So, Quad was on Carlos's show, and he was asking about the last time that she had heard from him. And she indicated that it was recent. Shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room. I was tagged here. I was also tagged on, I think it was Housewives from a Housewife as well. So check out both of those sources. But here is where the first person ended up tagging me. And I kind of want to get into this first. So here's what King says about what she calls a reach out from him, and that she says that she did not indulge in. Okay. She doesn't indulge when asked about her response. King says, "Stop lying." He then says, "I asked to end the relationship and haven't had a need to contact you. Stop trying to make yourself look good. These curated interviews and PR stunts are laughable. You have them in a controlled environment with your friends, not with a real journalist that will question you. The performance goes on. And no, it wasn't mutual or amicable. That was another performance and PR stunt." I mean, child, not King trying to um come for Carlos as well. And this is the thing that I don't think that people really know about Carlos and his background. I think it you if you know Carlos, then you should also understand his background in this field. That's the crazy part. So King, you might want to check into that before you start saying that. And yes, we do know that Quad and Carlos are good friends. right? Or at least that they are friendly enough that they, do interviews. And I'm sure they probably have conversations outside of the show, but that doesn't necessarily negate that someone could ask them very real questions. I have good relationships with several housewives, and I ask them real questions. And I feel like the great thing about that is when you do have a relationship, you can ask real questions and they don't feel like it's going to be a gotcha moment. They feel comfortable enough to answer those questions. Honestly, that's what you hope for anyway. But him saying that it wasn't mutual or amicable, that was another performance and PR stunt. I'm not gonna lie, I do think Quad has a tendency to put her best foot forward. But I think it's also because she's had to pull herself up by her bootstraps and put her best foot forward. So there could be aspects of her persona online in public, in public forums that could feel performative. But I also think that Quad has probably had it. I don't want to say the hardest on the show, but she even indicated that she is the person on the cast who had to struggle the most within the cast for acceptance. But I think that for the cast members, it could feel like a two-way street. But I do remember looking back at first season. I mean, they did kind of treat Quad like a second class citizen, third class, fourth class, if you really, really get into it. But that's neither here nor there because I don't feel like revisiting all that. So that's what's going on with that. All right. So in the spirit of celebrity breakups, we got to talk about this. Now, y'all, I don't watch this show. Okay. Let's be for real. I don't watch it. I do not enjoy the Real Housewives of New York in its current iteration. The girls do not interest me in any way, shape, or form. I have quite I've been an advocate of the idea that I don't really care for influencers on the show because at times it feels as though they are more concerned about the images that they have curated outside of the show to they're so interested in that it's hard for them to be genuinely authentic and give us the kooky housewives ness that we really enjoy. That is not to say that they would not be good on some other show. I think if you were to have called their show another show, it may have been more enjoyable. However, I say all that to say that this is going to be interesting because they're actually filming right now. And I'm super happy that our girl Carol Radziwill is back on the Real Housewives of New York. But as they are filming, Sai De Silva, who actually is, do we want to call her an influencer? I actually hate that term right now. So I regret that I used it earlier because I just feel like that there is a bigger term for what people could be considered as when they are in this space. But she has a very large community, a very large following. And if you follow her on social media or I think on YouTube as well, then you will know exactly who she is. Apparently, she is getting a divorce. Her husband filed for divorce after nearly a decade of marriage. Okay. He filed on Thursday morning, marking the end of their nearly decade long union. They first met in Costa Rica in 2009 while she was vacationing and he was traveling for business. Now, they shared that she was pretty hungover when they met, but he quickly made her laugh and captured her attention. They built a family, welcomed a daughter, London, in 2011 and a son, Rio, in 2017 before officially marrying in 2017. This is sad. She embraced her life on the Real Housewives of New York, but he kind of stayed out of the spotlight, appearing only occasionally on the show. And they are filming right now, and no one has really responded to any of this yet. So, oof, it's tough. That's a tough one. I don't really know much about the inner workings of their marriage. I just know that this was something that popped up. So I definitely wanted to make sure that we touched on this because it is happening right now. It is, I mean, literally as we speak, and they are filming as we speak as well. So this has got to be a devastating way to kind of start the season off. So we'll watch this story. I will maybe check into this show to see what they are giving because I do think that they are going, as they're bringing in new energy. I'm kind of interested to see where we go this time around. And I love New York in general. All right, so one last thing, y'all. Let's talk about Porsha. Porsha. Now, in some good relationship news, some good news on love and romance. I think this entire episode was about love and romance, right? Porsha, according to our friends over at the Jasmine brand, shout out to them for this story and the last. Um, she is opening up about her relationship with Sway. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of you guys, based on the comments, had felt like this was, not so real. But I will say it's giving me more real vibes as I continue to watch, like, see what's playing out. I mean, her and Sway were just vacationing down in the Bali. By the way, this is a shameless plug. I still have about 2 more spots for this Bali trip. Y'all, if you have been thinking about doing it, you need to get like Porsha and Sway and hop on it right now and understand why we are going. Okay? I am taking us to one of my favorite spots on earth. It is a light and sound vibration bath, right? It's a light and sound vibration experience. It is going to absolutely change your entire life if you let it. Okay? That is why I'm an advocate for Bali in general. And in times of like strife and struggle, if you are someone who is looking to just change your entire perspective on life, you need to get in on this trip before it is gone. Okay. It is so good that we sold out our first week in about 30 hours, right? You need to hop on this. Okay. See what Portia and Sway, why they were there. Anyway, is teasing the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17. My guess is that she will be first up to promote the show on like Watch What Happens Live and all the media outlets. Although everybody out there is doing press right now, just about. I know we saw Shamia and Pinky doing press on one of the Fox shows earlier. Somebody had posted it, and it was sounding like Pinky was saying that Shamia is causing the most drama this season. So we're gonna have to kind of I'll give you some tea on that because I think I got like a sneak peek. Okay. So once I get that sneak peek going, I'll let y'all know. Okay. Well, I can't really give you many spoilers, but once I see it, I'll be able to give you a thumbs up or thumbs sideways or thumbs down. Okay. While teasing the relationship, all right. She offered a rare insight into how their romance developed. She confirmed that she followed her instincts when deciding to go public with the relationship last year. She says, "You just know when you know." I felt comfortable. Now, Portia, I could have swore you said these same things about Dennis. I could have swore you said the same thing about Simon. And you know my name is Simon. Anyway, she says, "I felt comfortable and I felt led toward her and our relationship and what we were building." She also revealed that her connection with Sway stood out naturally, especially as she explored dating both men and women. Ultimately, she says her bond with Sway felt aligned and intentional, signaling a deeper emotional connection. And apparently, this marks a shift as she embraces a more authentic version of herself following her divorce from Simon as she enters this new season of life, both personally and professionally. She appears grounded in what feels right for her. Apparently, Portia's romances, I would say romances because there's a dude that she has dated or that she is dating or brings along in the first episode, which is a dinner party for couples that's featured in her home, I believe. Her romance is expected to be a major highlight this season, showcasing a softer, more self-assured side of the longtime reality TV star. We've seen Portia in relationships before, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see her in a relationship, a full-on relationship with Sway. Now, before technically, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we kind of knew that Portia, had a thing for the ladies as well. I mean, there was the whole kissing situation with Candy. Remember last season when she said, "I kiss Candy in the club, you should be a kiss Candy in the club," and I was like, "Ooh, kissing in the club." Now, Candy, that might be your next hit, Candy. Candy Girl, while you out here doing these one woman shows, I need you to come up with a song called Kissing in the Club. Okay. I think I mean, think about love in this club for Usher, but kissing in the club, and who is she kissing on? Who's zooming who? I like it. Also, when we go back on this whole situation and we remember the Bolo situation, apparently, people were saying that there was some kissing amongst some of the ladies then as well. So when the lights go out, I mean, listen, bodies get to moving and shaking and doing all the things. So, I'm listen, if Portia wants to, I think, uh experience a different side of love, then so be it. I would just hope that number one rule we've learned from Sierra: do not tie your business to this new relationship. And B, I want to see this relationship last just beyond one season. Okay. I don't want this to be a Ming and Ty situation. Now, I'm not saying that they was dating for the cameras, but what I am saying is I just don't want it to feel like we've been duped because it's a new season and so we need a new romance going on because they like to see the women on the show in relationships. I just want to see. I want this to feel like it's shock value. That I don't feel like same-sex relationships should be used for that in that way, or any relationship for that matter. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. Find you somebody if you are really, really into them and you are really, really dating and you are really doing the things, and give it to me and make it feel real. I'm gonna give you an example of something that did not feel real to me, and that was like Martell and Sheree. I mean, on what planet did that feel real to any of us? Okay, it did not feel real. It just didn't. So, I'm gonna need you guys to really sell it. Sell me candy like Rihanna, like the Rihanna song. Sell me candy, baby. Sell me candy and make me suck on that candy hard. You know what I'm saying? Make me suck on that candy hard, like that old good strawberry candy that your grandma used to give you in church. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so listen, that's all the tea that we got for y'all today. Oh, by the way, make sure you guys are tuned in and tapped in because on Tuesday nights we are doing our live masterclass. Okay, this is for anyone who is looking to level up on their content creation. I can guarantee you 90% of you guys are approaching content absolutely wrong. You are, and I see this every single time that we work with a group. Everybody is usually doing the same thing. I don't want to say wrong, but it's an aspect of content creation that a lot of people get wrong. I even made the same mistake when I first started, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. I want you to start generating revenue as soon as you begin making your content. And I'm going to help you do that. And I'm going to also help you determine the best way that works for your personality. We want this to feel easy for us and we want it to feel natural. There is no point in getting into the content creation space and feeling like you have a whole nother job. I've made that mistake too. And I shan't make it again. And I shan't let you make that mistake either. Okay. So if you are somebody who is looking to get into this space, if you are absolutely serious, if you are really, really ready to do this, then click the link in the description down below. The Bali link is also in the description. Yes, we have tons of things that are going on, multiple ways to help you transform your life and do more. Listen, this channel cannot be just about the tea. It has got to be about transformation. So we take the mess and we also can turn this into a message. That's what we're doing in 2026. Okay. So if you are ready, if you are ready to get serious about this thing, if you have lost your job, if you have been laid off, if you are ready to pivot, if you are just finally ready to start, then this is for you. Okay. So with that being said, I will catch you, of course, in the next video.